Good morning for myself, because that is what it is. It's 11:06. The date is the 20th of May, and tomorrow is the 30th day, or is it the 31st day that we celebrate spring? Tomorrow, okay, is also a leap day, which is the 21st, which is a Monday. Okay, usually the leap day we use is the Friday, because Thursday is the 5th day, and Thursday is the 5th day, Friday is the 6th day, Saturday is the 7th day. As I've mentioned in other videos, we can jump over 8, but now we can jump over 6, because in roulette, on the one side of 24 is 21, on the other side of 24 is 27. 21 is 3, 27 is 9, in between 27 and 29 is the 6. So what happens now is we jump over the 6, 22, 20th, 20, 25, 26, 22, 23, 24. What happens now is we're at 22, 23, and 24. We jump over the 6 over here, but the real thing is 24 and 13, 12, 24, and 18. See, the part we jump over now is this one goes to this one. 12 jumps over to 18. It's in the group of the first 12. This is the group of the second 12. This is the group of the third 12. They're all omega numbers, okay? Why? It's because in the first dice you have 6. In the second dice you have 12. In the third dice you have a total of 18. In the fourth dice you have a total of 24. So this is your alpha omega. You can jump over. If you jump over, then there must be a value in between. It's not just a number. The number has a value definition. So that would go along with it. So I'm going to show you what I did. Well, this is not the paper. This is the word lime. I'm going to describe to you why lime has something to do with our role of life. One of the things in lime is this word over here, Iliem, which can also mean 11, a point, a decimal. And how did I make this word? Well, I put the letter L, E-L, I, just an I, M, the letter M, E-M, M, and the letter E stands alone, Eliem. In the bottom here, just the two initials of lemon, it says Eliem. It means I love in French. At the same time, if you see 11 in French, it says onze yem, dixième. The French and English are mixed in between. When you mix in between two English numbers, you get a French number. Obviously, 2468, the beta world, is French. Somehow. Possibly. Does that mean the evil queen is English? And the French, I'd have to figure this whole thing out, because there's a whole thing in there. Not only that, when you go to the word 13th, okay, you have to mention the IE in there. But 12, you don't, and it's not a teen. 13 is the alpha of the omega of the first 13 letters, which is the letter M. So anyways, you can say 30 seconds, but you say 30th, okay? Or you say 30, 30th, 31st, ST, 32nd, ND, 33rd, RD. 34th is different because 3 and 4 stand for the spirit inside beta, which is the 3 dice, and 4 are the 4 corners, 34 TH, time heaven, because time heaven is the 4 corners. 35th, 5th, again, another jump over number in connection. That's why it has the I. Anything that has an I is connecting the birth of one of each sides, or both sides. Unless you're putting the number 6 or F in the center to make up for that, or using a word to start with PH instead of an F, or having F in the middle instead of PH. that'll all tell you a different angle. Now, because I'm not speaking and explaining myself to the full end, I'd have to look down and think every single time. As much as I've gone over this, there's always another thought to the actual truth. Don't forget, everything I've done is hypothesis. Even the Big Bang is hypothesis. God went in there and removed it, put in his spirit, and then boom. Or God started it with the spirit and took it out, and then boom. Anything that you extract certain ingredients, things will blow up or collapse. Okay, if you take all the water out of the cup only has air in it. The empty space is still air. What's in heaven? Air. What falls from heaven? Water. What's under heaven? Earth. Where do we live? Water falls on us. We live on the earth. We shit it out our ass. We piss in the toilet. Without God's energy, none of those two can happen. You would just harden up inside. Imagine God took away his water. What would you do? You'd never drink. You'd never flush a toilet again. You'd never see an ocean. You'd never see a lake. And Moses would have never been put into the Nile River. So therefore, without the water, we're fried. And we'd end up with butter and fried eggs. Well, what happens to the eggs? They turn green. Because in the other world, it's full of water. So now we're going to get on to, there's so many things, even the piano. The 28th key in the piano, one of the reasons for that is because 4 by 7 is 28, the 4 corners of 7. So how do we get from the other side of the piano to get to the 25th key? Everybody knows that the 25th key happens to end up over here. 2, actually it's 5, 5, 5, 7, 5, 7, 2, 5, 2. At the same time as this is 2, you see the box in here? The 2 is in the dot. The 6 is also in that center dot. Those spaces in there are for, this is, first of all, this is a bowling. This is how the bowling pins are set up. Set up here, and then I started drawing my pentagrams, my triangles, my mug and dove is inside. Obviously, this page has been ripped out. Because don't forget, as you're doing it, there's a lot more to do. And to make this over here, all you do is take a triangle down here, flip it over here backwards, okay? And then flip it the other way to find the point, and then draw from the beginning of each side up to the center point, making 2, 7, and 2, 9. But this one is 2, 25, 2, 2, 5. 2, 2, 5 is 9 times 25, which is the pound key times the 9 cats of the life. And this one over here is, excuse me, this one was 7, this one is 9. And then we'd have the same result, except this one would be 7 by 25. And 25 times 7 is 175. And everybody should know that because once you spend a quarter, you have 1/4 less of 40 of the 40 that made the $10 bill. Now I'm going to relax and slow down. Like one of my friends said, he says, you're going too fast. And one of the reasons I go fast is because the information comes in so fast. By the time I tell it to you, something else has came in, and I have already forgotten about it because I'm too busy telling you what I have now. That's the problem with the 10% of the single mind. I have to be able to tap both sides of the mind, and that's when I'm stoned. I can tap both sides of the mind, opening one side, letting a little information in of a continuous rotation of 100% of the matrix files, because you only have 10% of the brain to do that. The rest of your brain is busy doing other things. Hey, brain, what are you doing? What? I don't care. What? I don't care. What are you doing? What? Did you hear what my brain just said? It said, shut up. It said, I'm trying to think. Okay. I guess it's got a good job. Always wants to think. My brain. B-R-A-I-N. The rain, the beta brain, BR. B and R is 20, beta world. BRA is beta world, and the alpha spirit, that's 21. BRAI adds in the birth to make a 30 creation. And you add an N, which is a 14th letter passage in between 23 and 19, 9 and 9 apart, which is I and I. And now we have to bring something in an I together. The center of the roulette, if you've ever played, it's 37. 16, 19, 17, 20, 18, 21 all connect together, okay, in a 1-1 fashion. After they do that, the only jump you can make is in between the 18 and 21, and you flash over the 18, 21, you make a rainbow over to the 16, and then one under the rainbow to connect 19 to 21, and that's the I, 17 and 20, 37, 777, 3 creation, that we live in on the roulette table basis. Now, many people have said to me, well, all you're doing is taking the rules and information of other games and just implement. That's right, but it's that easy. It's confusing, but it's not easy. God put it there. He gave us the alphabet. We made an alphabet with it, so why can't we make something else with it? He gave us a shape to use for a reason. He didn't only give the shapes to us to give to the 5-year-old kids when they play. Those shapes were created for a reason, based on something other than just the shape it is itself. We use it in mathematics as calculations. The shape is more than you think. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the lime. The lime has a 39 count. You remember I just jumped 3 over 9 to make 6? Well, there you go. That's your 6. Man's a lime, and he rusts. Let's go all the levels of lime. Letter L, level 2, piece 3. Level I, level 1, piece 4. M, level 2, piece 4. Level E, level 1, piece 4. Now, if you would be playing any game like Monopoly, go to the railroad track is 2, 3, 4. From Oriental to just before parking is 2, 3, 4. From I think it's the yellow. I'm not yellow. Purple. I'm not sure which one it is. But after the jail, it's 2, 3, 4. Excuse me, I made a mistake. Wow. Now it's 1, 2, 3, 4. The reason I said 0, okay, because it can be used both ways. Because when you start on something to the next position, that position will be 0. You end up, you stop on a position you get in Monopoly, that is your alpha to go and your omega to stop, because you've reached the end of the number on the dice. And then alpha to go and alpha to stop. So if you were actually starting on the 1 position, then you would get 2, 3, 4. That's what Daryl's trying to say in 4, 3, 2, whatever. That once you landed on the first one, which is God, okay, every corner is 0. That's why 0, it leaves 36 numbers extra, and the Monopoly has and the roulette has 36 numbers. Now there's 4 missing. Well, you can say 36 numbers in each corner is a suit and a deck of cards. We'll say go to jail would be, who would say go to jail? Let's say go to jail would be part of the, don't forget, because the diamond card gets to take up 3 corners, okay? And he gets to take up 3 corners of the diamond card for the reason as he's already 1 corner. God is already go. It says G-O, Omega. Game Omega, 7 Omega. Omega is 15. When you say go, 15th letter and 7th letter, 7 by 15 is 105. And that's the number for poker. 105, 6 again. Or 0 to this side and 0 to this side. The center is equal. They can both enter. 0 is a very important number. So now we're going to go to lemon and lime. So we end up with 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, 1. On this side, which piece it is, 3, 9, 4, 5, 6, 3, 1, 5. So these will all be expressions that I can tell you now. Beta creation means beta, second world, creates, or they put together the part of creation with the L. The L angle means the female. On level 2, on level 1, still, the last piece is the omega piece. These are both omegas in their own round. This is the omega of 1, 2, 3, and this is the omega of 7, 8, 9. This would be C, this would be I, and would just say yes, C. Okay. Then we have M, okay, or M. Second level, because it's the 13th, it falls after the 6, is M. At the same time, it's the second level because we start, our levels end, okay, at 6. They start at 7. Our levels end at 9. They start at 10. Did you see any of the similarities of what I've been doing? It's just dividing up the alphabet, giving it a letter in its space compared to the rest of the letters, and it will tell you what its construction is all about. Line. If you multiply this, 3 by 9 is 27. 2 worlds is 7. Okay. which can either be this one, which is definitely this one. The Magen David is a world of 7. It has 6 points. It has 6 interiors on the point is 12 plus 1 7 in the center of the Magen David. So the Magen David jumps into the next world as 7, and that is the octagon that would go in between. Okay, that creates position number 5 of the 8 that surrounds the octagon. So now you have octagon with 5 in the center, and you have the Magen David with 7 in the center, and it happens again and again. 57, 75, 5 and 7. Say egg. If you put the 8 in there, which we're not, okay, e.g., all you have is a head, a heg. But actually, the heg can be changed into a head or a hedgehog. And then again, you can say, you're just playing with words and making up anything. Yes, but I see in my mind, I vision what it means. I see the H has no sound. So even if God said, I am omega, you remember when you see the electricity thing and it says ohms? Well, one of the letters in there is not pronounced. And it's the S that swings. You know why the S is so important? Because I started here on this corner, and I make it, and it goes around, and it goes around, and it finishes on this corner. So it connects to here and here. And most likely you'll connect to an N or a Y, because an N and a Y are both numbers in between. Actually, the Z can be also used as a leap, because the N is the 15th letter, the Z is the 26th letter. The N is 14, 1 and 4 is 5. The Z is 2 and 6, which is 8, which makes 8 and 5, and that's in between Jupiter and Neptune. And I have a funny feeling that's where we actually live. But in bowling, where would we live in bowling? Let me turn this over and find out where my... See, what happens in bowling is to make it, you have to make it square. Now I can put this one down here, make it square, and explain to you how 1, 2, 3 in your bowling and 1, 2, 3 in your bowling come out to be your 6th world. We're missing the heaven in between. You see the way it's hopped over from here to here to here? This would be 25. This would be 23. And this would be 27. See, we hopped over to 26, which is number 8. We did the same thing over here. We jumped over the same thing. But on this angle, because it's the bottom, okay, I'm going to say that this is 23. I'm going to say that this is 32, because these two will go together to make an O in the center. Why don't you put this over here? You have an outside O and an inside O. Both diamond likes. This would be 3 and 3. In the middle goes the 7 world. So you put the Magen David in the center here, and most likely these 3 and these 3 will be the bottom and top points of the Magen David, starting for the first 3 pins in bowling. All you'll be left with is the rest of the pins. Now I've shortened up my game a little bit to understand the Trinity. Now I'm still not finished, because this is not a delta. Delta is more like this, which probably means it only takes up 1 square. Okay, even though I've made some mistakes, more than some mistakes, and a lot of mistakes, I'm always going to come back and show you that this delta point is the exact same design as in the Greek letters, and it's the same design to take up either 5 and 2. Okay, I'm not quite sure if I have to stay on the lines or go off the lines. So once I do this, this would be the 2 at the top, and this would be the corner of the 2 at the bottom. On this side would be 1 on this side. So what would we do to that if we really wanted to understand it better? You have to expand it. So you do it like this. Then as you expand it, you have to reduce it. Because if you don't reduce it, I'm just trying to show you. Now you outline the V that was there, and you end up with 2. See the way it is, the Pontiac sign and the Pontiac sign, and then you have it in the center. Okay. Now what we would do to do this is we would turn it upside down and then put her down here, because you have to have the passage. It's easier to put a passage on the down, so when it hits the 2 points, right, it opens up like that. But if it's on like this, you can't get in. If it's a point, it's not getting in. But if it's indented, I can slide this in. Another thing about the Sanskrits that I want to tell you, if you look at the circles on the side, there is like this. It sits on it like this, the stone, and then as the stone turns, Okay, this slips itself in, and it keeps on turning as it turns. Okay, hold on a second. It slips itself in, and as it turns, it's turning itself out, and then another one slipping itself in. And that's how it works on the Mayan Sanskrit, at least by the way I see it, and that was very quick. I need someone to ask me questions, specific questions about certain things that are going to be easy, that are very hard. If they're not hard, they're going to be hard to expand. If they're too easy, sometimes they're too easy, and it's too easy to do. So I'm not sure where I was. We're going to go back to the lime and the lemon. Okay. The lime has 9 pieces inside, and the corner, the center. And everybody knows the only reason why God is 10 is because the center dot that we get. In order for God to do the rest of his stuff on earth, from 9, okay, he goes to 10 by getting man inside of him. And now he gives man all these words, and he says, okay, man, go out and work. But wait a second, now that man comes into life and he gets into man, he has to get all those numbers, secondary world of 10, all those numbers, a third world of 10, which is man, which would make a total of 30, then the world, which is 2 and 8 beta, which is 40, and then the totality of everything together, which is 50. Now you start connecting, and you go up to hundreds and 300. Really, you stop at 150, because when you get to the 10th frame, once you've thrown your fifth strike in a row in the 5th frame, you have 30, 60, 90, 30, 60, 90, 100, 110. You have 120 in the 5th frame. That's if you don't throw anymore. And 120 is alpha, beta, and that's what you need in the 5th frame. If you throw 2 more balls for the 5th frame, okay, 30 in the first, 60 in the second, 90 in the third, 110 in the 4th, 120 in the 5th. Now, if you end up throwing the ball and you get 2 more strikes after the 5th and go to the 7th inning stretch, now I'll introduce baseball, because at the 7th inning stretch, you're the 8 stretching out to 7 and 9. You know what I'm saying? God has a weird way of expressing things. It's fucking fantastic. It's insanity. It's insanity. Anyways, we're going to jump back to the piano this time. 28th key from one side, 25th key from the other side, both hit center. Why? 4 perfect weeks of 7. 3 extra days to make up for creation. Some months have it, some months don't. Some months don't have it because they start with the letter A. Some months don't have it because they start with the letter N, which is passage. Odd. Odd November, which is not odd. It's even. But it's odd because November is in the one world of 01, which is really odd, but it's even because beta, that's the beta world. 2 and 12, 2 and 11 go together. Sorry about that. So what happens on the piano? Beta heaven, okay, which is in roulette, and it should be on the number, not on the number 1. 28th letter in the alphabet means you have jumped over and passed Y, Z, Y, A. And the passage is next, because it's the 25th letter in the alphabet, which is Y, and Y, Z, Y, A. Okay, with the N passage, because you're allowed to use the N as the Z, it's the same thing, and it's a skip over in passage. So Z to end the alphabet, Y, A, and N is Zion. If you do it backwards, okay, at the Z, it's Z, Y, W, X, which is creation of man in the heavens, the connection of Y and I in this world, and then you go on to Zion the other way. So it describes it both ways, in and out. So we're going to get back to the piano, which is the 25th key from one side, a 25th key from one side of the piano, and the 28th from the other side. The total is 53. The 5 God and the 3 creation is us, or the 52 cards in the deck totality, and the 1 joker we must be, and then the 2 joker that God must be, and we'd be 53, then we'd be 55. But don't forget, there's more jokers in the deck than just that. There's got to be a joker for beta. Don't forget, when I say 4 worlds of 7, right? Once you have 4 worlds of 7, that's the 7 God. 7 God must put inside of it this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have to count 2 of the numbers twice because the 2 is in the center on the top. The other one is down below to the right, so it has to be counted twice. It's just an obligation. The only thing with this here again, okay, is 2 and 8 is 1. 25 was 7. Excuse me. 25 and 28, like we did before, was 53. Okay. Now in piano, 5 and 3 is 8, the number we skip, and the number 3. Now here's the reason we skip. AJSA, this is in roulette. This is what would be in roulette if every number would be 1. The J is the 10th, it's 1. The S is the 19th, it's 1. The A is the 1st, it's 1. The 28th letter is A, it's 1. It gets boxed in, alpha, alpha boxed in. The 29th letter, okay, you see this is the 28th letter. All stands for center creation, angel, the Jack spirit, the spirit, and the angel of man. And that's what it equals. Okay. You can also take out 13 and 15 or 14 and 14, which is N and N instead of M and M, and that's the passage in and the passage out at the same time. Another thing I wanted to mention is that when you cut a line, a lemon or a lime this way, right, you end up cutting in between 2 pieces on top, hitting the center, and cutting 2 pieces on bottom. So no matter what, when you cut a lemon this way, you're hitting 4 pieces out of the 9, and when you cut it this way, you're hitting all 9 out of 9. And when you open it up, you'll see inside there's 9 on each side with a little hole in the middle on each side. 9 in the hole is 10, 9 in the hole is 10. The brace is the pen going across, and that'll be man's world of 7. Well, it's man's world of 6, but in the 7th dot. Let me just try to see this. This is 7. This is 5. Next, this is B, 29th. C, 3, 3, cluck like a chicken. 3, 3, 3, to come around again. 30th, center C. Why? Then between the C and the C of 33 of creation is L and U, which is 33. It means to read. It means you got luck. It means you got cluck. What does it mean you got cluck? 3, 15, 25, 36, 39. This equals to a total of 39. 3 times 3 is 9. The lime is part of creation. There's no way, even the lemon, 7, 8, 2, 1. 11 has a count of 59. Because we're the creation, and God holds, the lemon is 2 parts. It's the 8th world. There's only 8 parts in this world. There's so many things I can say. There's just another thing. Do you have position, or is it just poison? Raphael 7286. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go. Here again, when you go down to Fox, it ends with an F because the 33rd letter of creation, Christ, ends at the F. Wouldn't it be funny? 33 and it ends in F. 7th letter, G, P, Y, G. The 7th is 34th in the alphabet. That's where we go to with this. 3 and 4 is 7. So we know G, this is the 7th gate. The 1 spirit of 6 and the 2 beta of 5. And God is the 5. G is made up by 5 and 2, 2 parts of God. So don't forget, everything ends. Look at this. This is like saying David. Why? Because take away the M over here and just leave the 2 sticks. Okay? Or flip it over because there's you see the M here? You can strike a line right through it because the dot only comes to the center. Anything that ends up in the center is going to be cross-connected somewhere else, by or otherwise. Because certain houses end up on this angle and this angle. So anyways, then we would have to go to Q. This is the one we jump over. These are all number 8 letters. H, Q, Z. 8, 1, 7, 2, 6. Both worlds again. And then the last one is I. Lake Erie. I-R-I. 18 and 25 is 43. R is 18. Y is 25, 43. And reverse of 34 is 43. This is the Baltic. Now my question is, where are the other 5 numbers? There's 5 numbers missing here. I must get the 41. In fact, I must either get the 41 or get the 14 or get the hell out. Anyways, I'm going to stop it now with this. This is bowling lanes. It's you know what? It's just shapes and shapes and shapes and shapes. If I can do the shapes, then I can be able to explain it to you to understand. See 7 on top and 7 on the bottom. This is 9. 7, 9, 7. You can also call it as 688 because, oh my God. Everybody remember the rotary telephone? You put your finger in, you turn it around, but the circle's only this big, but the center circle is this big. Well, that center circle is the reason why we have more, the reason for our day being 24 hours or our year being an extended year of 0.25 that we can't count. Things that didn't come out perfect because they couldn't make them any other than this way. Because of doors that open and close, we needed the 0.25 because math is crossways. 5 by 5 is 25. And its value totality with the suits together is 5 by 5 by 5. Add in the 5 of God to the 125, you have 625. Add in the Omega Mediterranean Baltic, you have 25,625, and we are going to put it to an end. I appreciate it. I still didn't get done half of what I have tried. I don't know why my voice is doing this because it's drying out. Here's one of the ways to design it in a race car. See this? That's the race car, and these are the 3 worlds. So, I mean, it's not much, but it's there. It's there. It's there. It's there. But you know what? I think I lost a picture. Not very happy. Lost a picture. That's okay. Raphael, 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. I thank you very much for coming to the end of this video with me. Or maybe you have just started. For me, it hasn't ended yet. So, Raphael, and the constellation is 7286. On behalf of every single person in this entire world, we want to thank you for the information that I was able to assimilate, to make look like, to put together, to make something look like the other when it's not. That's okay. It was made that way for us.